Welcome to the Future Is podcast, where we meet the people shaping what's next in business and life.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Future Is podcast. My name's Kevin Dehoff. I'm Honeywell's Chief Strategy Officer and also the President and CEO of Honeywell Connected Enterprise. Today, I'm here with Nicole Dezen, Chief Partner Officer and Corporate Vice President of Global Partner Solutions at Microsoft. Nicole leads the commercial partner business and is responsible for building and selling AI-powered Microsoft Cloud applications, services, and devices with partners. It's only fitting that today's discussion is all about AI. Specifically, trust in the age of AI and how our leaders can navigate this exciting and complex era in business and life. Before we delve into today's topic, I thought I'd give our audience a quick background on our partnership. Honeywell and Microsoft announced a strategic partnership about 5 years ago to integrate a set of Honeywell's software solutions with Microsoft Azure. As partners, Honeywell Forge leverages Microsoft's cloud and AI technologies to deliver transformative business outcomes and invaluable insights for the operations of commercial buildings and industrial plants. Our partnership is about technology and innovation and setting new standards in operational excellence. Nicole, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the wonderful partnership between our two organizations. Let me get started with the first question. So, our topic today is trust in the age of AI. How are you approaching this AI topic at Microsoft?
Well, Kevin, first of all, thank you so much for having me here today. It's really great to be here with you, and I'm incredibly appreciative of the deep partnership we have with Honeywell. There's so much great work happening between our two companies, and it's a really exciting time to be here with you and talking about all the innovation we have in AI. So, you asked about trust. And this is something that is paramount to Microsoft, something we're incredibly focused on. And at Microsoft, we call this responsible AI. We think about the safety, security, and integrity of AI and the really important role that Microsoft plays to lead the world in safe and ethical uses of AI. Inside the company, we've adopted 6 AI principles that guide our development and deployment efforts: fairness, reliability and safety, privacy and security, inclusiveness, transparency, and accountability. And these principles are really rooted in values, and I believe they're actually core to human rights. The other thing we did is we've established an Office of Responsible AI, and this is what guides everything we do in a company to put those 6 AI principles into practice.
Excellent. Well, thank you. One of the things our customers, our Honeywell customers, are really finding challenging right now is addressing the capacity and the skill gaps in our workforce. And I'm pretty certain that AI will play a role in helping our joint customers address that. What are some of the key considerations for leaders in thinking about the application of AI and how we better enable our teams and more effectively manage operations?
Sure. It's a great question. And of course, skilling is a topic on every leader's mind and, something we're looking at very deeply at Microsoft. We've got to skill our workforce for such an incredible wave of new innovation and tech, and encourage our partners and customers to do the same. And then to your question on how does AI help with some of the gaps and other challenges that leaders are seeing. I always believe that with any technology tool, the leader should really start with what's the business impact needed. It's not about tech for tech's sake. It's about how do you solve problems. And so with AI, it's the same question. How can AI solve these leaders' problems? And then how do you leverage capabilities like predictive analytics and forecasting, which are really new enhancements that are brought about with generative AI. But in the conversations that I have with customers and partners, I would always say start with the use cases, think about the specific problems or goals that you're trying to solve, And goals, I think, are an interesting way to orient around this, because you can think about a leader's goals and commitments to employees, to shareholders and customers. And I think it's a really great foundation then to go apply the tech to address these kinds of things. I'll give you two examples. Lots of companies are talking about their desire to increase employee productivity. As leaders, we want our people to be at maximum yield, and we want to make sure that we're delivering value out into the market. And that is exactly the promise and the experience people are having with Copilot for Microsoft 365, which, introduces generative AI capability across the Office suite. The other one is employee morale, and I'm sure you feel the same way I do. I want to make sure that our employees are thriving, feel valued, love the work they do, see our mission and purpose in the work they do. And we are delivering on that promise with developers for GitHub Copilot. Seeing the developer love and the increase in productivity in their work has really been inspiring for us. The final thing I'll say on this is I think it's really important for leaders to consider their data estate and data quality here. It's like garbage in, garbage out. And so you want to make sure that the data is in a great place, because then the models will have the right data to provide those insights. And then you're also ensuring that you've got the security and protecting your assets at the same time.
Yeah, you mentioned data. I was actually gonna go there as well. Part of what we're doing together, Microsoft and Honeywell, is better understanding how we can use operational data and have that data provide insights that we can then turn to action to improve operations efficiency and effectiveness. With all that data, AI, we're generating tons of content, and so how do you think organizations can maintain trust, both internally and externally, around both the data, but also all the content that's now being generated by AI?
Yeah, gosh, this is such an important question for everyone right now. For me, I think it begins with transparency. I fundamentally believe that we have to be transparent about how and when we're using AI. And then there's a lot of work in sort of change management and culture change to make sure that every user understands the appropriate uses and the limitations of AI tools. There's a reason that Microsoft calls them co-pilots. They're there to assist us. And so, your frame of reference there is really important. I shared with you Microsoft's approach to responsible AI. I've talked to so many of our partners about how they could establish a responsible AI code, policy, practice. We've published all of our data and encourage everyone to check it out and, figure out what's applicable to your business needs and your culture. And then, of course, finally, you have to have really clear privacy and security policies and be very clear with users and your customers or partners about responsible use of data. One of the things that we've been very intentional about and very public about is the fact that a customer's data is their data, and we don't use any customer's data in enriching or training our models in any way or in any of our offerings.
That's really important. I can tell you that at Honeywell and in my business, we've benefited greatly from a partnership with Microsoft on our own digital journey. Could you talk a little bit more generally how you work with partners around AI solutions and changing business models, and talk a little bit about what that would look like?
Well, partners are my favorite topic. So thanks for asking the question. I mean, this is what motivates me every single day. It's my commitment to helping our partners succeed. And there's a lot of tools that we've created in order to enable us to do that in this era of AI. We started with launching the next generation of our partner program, the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program, in July. And really, this is intended to be the umbrella for all of the tools, resources, investments, and skilling that enable our partners to build AI practices, develop AI solutions and services, deliver go-to-market resources and assets so that they can meet just the incredible customer demand that we're seeing in market for all of these capabilities. And the data tells us that there's very real demand. We said there's a recent report by Gartner that said that global spending on AI is expected to surpass $300 billion by 2026. And so I'm urging partners to get in the journey wherever they are in their maturity on this business. We have the ability to support them. We've already had thousands of partners earn their data and AI solution designation, and they're building modernized AI apps with Azure specializations. And these are important because the designations and specializations are what gives the partner the ability to signal to a customer that they have the technical skills to build, manage, and deliver AI transformation across these industries.
So, I continue to believe that we're in the early innings of the AI game, but the pace that we're moving is just remarkable. Just the speed and the change has been incredible. What does this look like 5 or 10 years from now? And I'll go back to your passion. What role does the partner ecosystem play in kind of where this is all headed? Could you share a little bit of foresight around that?
Sure. And, I completely agree. We're in the earliest days, but at the same time, the pace of innovation is faster than any technology shift we've previously seen. And so it's an exciting time to be in tech. To answer your question about what the future holds, I'll call upon what Satya Nadella, our CEO, said. The way that he articulated his vision of the next 5 to 10 years and how important our amazing partner ecosystem is going to be to really help us drive this innovation, growth, deliver on our goals. What Satya said was that we're currently in what he calls the golden age of AI. And this technology transformation that's happening is going to redefine work as we know it. Generative AI is actually projected to add almost $10 trillion to global GDP in the next decade. And we really envision a future where AI becomes an integral part of our lives. It's going to impact industries, productivity, and innovation. I'm very certain that the next decade promises significant advancements, and we certainly aim to be at the forefront of the AI-driven transformation with our partners and customers. And so if I then think about the partner opportunity, we really emphasize the importance of coming together with our partners because our partners are delivering a lot of innovation at the face of the customer and serving every community, country, and sector, particularly at times of rapid change like right now. And partners are playing such a crucial role in the vision and leveraging the power of AI in their own solution development and business models. You can count on our commitment to continue to invest in our partners through programs like the Microsoft AI Cloud Partner Program and continue to provide resources. And this is an evergreen piece of work that we'll do. As you said, the technology is moving fast, so our supportive partners needs to move equally fast. One of the things we're doing is that we're really heavily prioritizing skilling and readiness for the partners. We know they're the multiplier effect for customers' AI transformation. But the other thing that's been really motivating is so many of the new use cases, scenarios, and solutions are innovation and creativity coming directly from our partner ecosystem. I have to just say, I think that technology and certainly generative AI has the power to solve some of the biggest challenges in the world today. And, that's challenges in fields like healthcare, energy, aerospace, supply chain. And I'm just so excited to see what we can all do together to deliver on that promise.
Well, what you described in terms of solving, big and meaningful problems, well, that's exactly what Honeywell does. And so we'll be right there with you and look forward to the continued partnership for sure. Maybe just to end on a little bit of a fun question. Here we are. We're talking about AI. We're talking about partnership. As you thought about your career in the early days, did you ever expect to end up here? And if so, how did we end up here?
No, I didn't really grow up thinking I'd be the chief partner officer of Microsoft, which is amazing because I do think I have the best job in the company. But actually, when I was a kid, I thought I wanted to be a lawyer. I actually watched my dad go through law school while I was in school, I was so impressed with what he learned and the things that he was able to do to help people. And so it was really the connection to how I can help people. And while I didn't end up going to law school, I do see an incredible opportunity in the role I have here at Microsoft to help people achieve their goals and deliver on their mission for the world.
Well, listen, I think the path will continue to be really exciting. And as I said, we very much value the partnership with Microsoft. And I really appreciate you spending some time with us here for the podcast. Thank you.
Thanks so much for having me, Kevin.
For more stories on the people and innovations shaping what's next in business and life, subscribe to The Future Is and leave us a review where you listen to podcasts.